Why is every camera bag just relying on zippers where the straps are attached to one part here and then everything is just holding on for dear life by the zipper? In today's video, we're gonna be talking about camera bags, and I'm actually giving away my favorite camera bag, but we're gonna be talking about that at the end of the video. But I am just gonna come out and say this right now because I feel like everyone just knows this already, but I'm gonna pioneer it. The perfect camera bag doesn't exist. Just straight up. You'll never find it because there's always one or two things that you're like, I just wish that was just a little bit better. After many years of testing out different camera bags, in this video we're going to be covering all the different bags that I actually use and actually really like and have tested very extensively, and these are the ones that kind of have made the top of the list. So we're going to go through soft bags, hard shell bags, everyday bags, as well as sling bags. So let's start with my first one. This is the PGYTECH OneMo 2. Yeah, editor Chris here. I just found out that it's actually PGYTECH and not PGYTECH. So I'm gonna call out my mistake right now. And the reasons why I like this one is that it can hold a gimbal. I think this is like the craziest thing that no camera bag has ever done well, is that in the front part of it there, you can actually store the gimbal in that area where it's protected. Little things that I think that this bag has done well. Right here on the side entry where you can access your camera, there's a little battery pouch that is built into its own little area. So you can actually just track the battery status, which is really nice. The better part of this bag, which is really applicable to my lifestyle, is that it has this little slide out insert, which becomes a day bag. So it can store everything that you would need in a sling typically, as well as when you're traveling, but it also becomes kind of like the bag that you would use if you are traveling. You can leave your laptop at home, all your accessories and things that you don't need for the day, and just pack the actual items that you're gonna use. For me, it actually even expands further so you can store quite a bit. When I was traveling through Europe, I was able to carry my 28-105 f2.8 lens, which is quite long, as well as a drone and a remote and an Insta360 X4, and I was also able to grapple a tripod on the bottom of it. That's as much as you would normally carry in most camera bags in just the insert part of this bag. So I absolutely love that ability to be flexible while you're traveling, but also a lot of the times you have to store lenses like this because by the time you put it like this, it protrudes too much, you can't zip up the bag. But in most cases, I can actually store most of my lenses vertically. It also has really nice, thin, but very strong padding where you can jam more into this bag, but you still know that you've got a very protected piece of equipment in that bag. It's got very thick padding. The actual back part is like quite thick, very comfortable on your back. And they've got 3 key handles, which means that you can actually pick up the bag from the middle area. It's also got another top handle because I make these bags super heavy. Every time I go up to the taxi driver, he grabs, he's like, whoa! And then it's got one top handle, which means that you can carry it. It doesn't fall over, which is really nice when it's standing up. A lot of camera bags do fall over because they're rounded at the bottom versus flat. And they have a little storage area right here, which I think is really great for storing like an action camera or your phone while you're hiking. Overall, I think this is like my favorite camera bag on the market. So I would actually say that this camera bag for me gets a 9 out of 10 rating. And the only reason it doesn't have a 10 out of 10 is because the perfect camera bag doesn't exist. And I don't think the aesthetic is overtly that inspiring. Okay, I wanna do a massive shout out to this week's sponsor, Huckberry. Now, if you don't know about Huckberry, they are the one-stop men's shop that has everything from highly curated clothing and gear, all the way to unique items like this hand-blown whiskey glass that features topographical maps of the world's most iconic mountaintops. They have classic American peaks like Half Dome in Whitney and all the way to international peaks like Kilimanjaro, Everest, as well as the Matterhorn. A quick highlight of one of my favorite products, this flannel-lined wax trucker jacket that I'm actually wearing right now. I wanted to get this after I saw that Pedro Pascal wore this exact jacket in The Last of Us. The product is made in the USA with weather-resistant materials, and this is just a type of jacket that literally gets better with age. It's fully lined for warmth, which means that you can rock it with just a tee during the colder months. And it's also packed with a bunch of different pockets to hold your passport, your keys, your wallet, and all your EDC essentials. Thank you so much, Huckberry, for sponsoring this episode and series. Be sure to click the link in my bio to check out all of Huckberry's top products, including this wall-mounted bar that looks like a gas can. I mean, how cool is that? Okay, we're gonna move into my second most used camera protective case, and that is a hard shell case. This is the Nanuk 935. I mean, just look at this color. I kind of went with this one because of 2 main reasons. The color is absolutely perfect, and it is a Canadian company. And we're talking about hard shell. There's always gonna be this like battle between Nanuk and Pelican. Now, the reason why I've selected the Nanuk over the Pelican is for a few different reasons. One, I think their actual like product is just overall built better, but primarily this part right here, you press the button, slide this up, and I love that. That's just so wonderful. These wheels are like skateboard level comfort wheels. For me, this is the bag that I go and I store when I'm going to a professional set, but I only use this if I'm traveling with a car. I don't find myself kind of going out into the world and carrying this around, because when you have something like this, when it's going over like bumps and things like that, I just don't find it the most pleasing to walk around with. So I only use this if I have a car accessible and I'm doing a professional photo shoot, or I just want to protect my gear at top level. I am very selective with the countries that I bring this to, because this bag just screams, hey, there's expensive stuff in here and there might be a professional working in this country. And so I went to Mexico, they saw this bag and they were like, hey, we should inspect that. So if I can avoid those opportunities, I try to, but I do find myself that if I needed to bring this to an area like I've done in the past, which is Norway, I went to Svalbard one time, I wanted to store all my stuff knowing that the winter and the elements up there could be a massive consideration in protecting my equipment, as well as making it just more comfortable to travel with. So I felt secure from insurance standpoint. So I will be very selective where I use this, but if I want to use it, it is my go-to hard shell case. The cons of this is I kind of find that the photography insert package that I have for it isn't just the best for storing a laptop and the accessories on the top. It's not my like favorite layout, and I find the foam itself kind of a bit too thick. I think they could probably go a little bit thinner. But one of the things I'm seeing Nanuk do right now, which I really appreciate, is that they have these like little inserts that you can slide in and out of both a camera bag as well as their hard shell cases, and you can kind of mix and match, and they have zips on the top of it. So I just saw that when I was at B&H recently, and I really liked that aspect in terms of what Nanuk is doing over Pelican. So they get a kind of a big win there, but I haven't really tested that system out myself, but I think a lot of people are going to be interested in it. Overall, this gets an 8 out of 10. The reasons why I'm kind of knocking some points off is that just typically these bags are just heavier and kind of bulkier to go with. So yes, they're way more protective and they're waterproof and just built like tanks, and you won't get dust on the inside of them. But the trade-off is that they just are heavier, which means that you can't really travel with as much stuff unless you want to fight the gate agents for the weight capacity that you're traveling with. So that's always like one consideration there. And then number two is I just find like they don't hold as much as I absolutely would really like. And I think when I am traveling somewhere, I just want to be able to bring as much as possible to the location. Nanuk 935 limited lifetime warranty, Canadian company, olive green color. I like this. Okay, moving on to another camera bag that I think you could use in your everyday life. I feel like you're already predicting it right now, and that is the Nomatic everyday camera bag from Peter McKinnon, as well as the 18-liter camera bag. Now, I am finding myself gravitating towards the 18-liter a lot more these days, and this is because this is kind of the camera bag that I will set up for my day use. So if I'm not going out to shoot a lot of things where I need tons of flexibility, I just need like a camera, a charger, my laptop, I want to go and work from a cafe, maybe I'll go and shoot, maybe I won't. This is kind of like my go-to for a smaller camera kit, because I can travel still with a tripod, I can bring a 16-inch MacBook Pro, I can store, you know, some sandwiches and some daily food on the top area, and then just have my like go-to camera equipment. And also, this camera bag wins because of its aesthetics. It looks a lot nicer. I like the matte finish on it. It flies under the radar. It looks more like a bag you would carry to school or to the office versus being like, hey, that guy's got camera gear in there. And any chance that I don't look like a target while I'm traveling around, I will always lean on that side of it there. If you do need a little bit more space, again, there is that everyday camera bag here from Peter McKinnon. This is probably my favorite thing about this, because almost every camera bag falls. I'll show you. So it has a flat bottom here, and boom, put it down. Doesn't fall over. Every camera bag, do this, please. This has been a workhorse camera bag for me. I did a full review on this a few years ago. I will link it up here, but my key takeaways of why I like this: it's comfortable on the shoulders. It's got the slide-in insert right here while you're traveling with it. It's got cool aesthetics. I mean, Pete's logo is always just super cool. The camera system that they designed, which was more about like an insert setup here, I totally see the appeal for certain people. For me, this didn't work for my workflow. So a lot of the times they had these inserts, they go like in like that. For me, I actually just found myself gravitate towards just building out the inside here to maximize space. But where I think this bag wins over the PGYTECH bag is it's just a much better looking camera bag, still flies under the radar, but we're just starting to enter turtle category, and that's always something that will knock a few points off for me. So that's why I've been leaning towards the 18 liter. But overall, I know that Pete's a friend of mine, so he is not involved. This is not a plug for him because he's a homie. I literally just think they have built really, really great camera bags. I've used them for years as a workhorse. I didn't find a lot of other camera bags for a long time that I liked, and so workhorse, 3 years, 2 to 3 years of like consistent use. I love this bag, and I've only just recently started to fall in love with the 18 liter. Again, the 18 liter gets like a 7.5 only because I have to store things horizontally, and then the Peter McKinnon Everyday Camera Bag gets an 8 out of 10 because I just think it's a overall really great bag, and the perfect camera bag doesn't exist. Remember? Let's all remember that. I think shoulder bags and sling bags have become extremely popular, so I do want to mention one that I bought on a whim because it was green, and I just like green colors. But this is the K+F Concept 2-in-1 sling bag. I just thought for the price, I mean, I paid $45 Canadian on Amazon for this bag, and I think you get so much value for it. For me, you have the ability to store a mirrorless camera with like 1 or 2 lenses and maybe something else in here. You can also fit a switch, you could fit a small iPad. It's got a back storage area, really solid handle right here, but the front storage is really nice. Again, you have that kind of like battery system where you can put the charged battery in the green, the dead battery in the red, and then you got some other areas right here to store your normal camera accessories that you use in the daily. I will knock a point because straight up, K+F Concept, I'm pretty sure you stole this concept and design from Peak Design, but if you want something that's basically like a Peak Design for a significantly lower price, the K+F Concept bag is basically there. So you get points knocked because of copying, nay, but you also have the ability to have a cheap bag that is built fairly well. I wouldn't say that it's the best quality I've ever experienced, but for the price, I think it surpasses $45 in value, and you have the option to have a tripod on the bottom. I think these are all of the bags that I find myself gravitating towards right now in 2024 going into 2025. I love all these products. Now, like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I am giving away a camera bag. I'm giving away my favorite camera bag right now, which is the PGYTECH OneMo 2. Drop a comment below with your entire setup and how much gear that you have, and then tell me why you think you deserve this camera bag. I'll pick one of you to be the lucky winner, and you will go home with my favorite camera bag. And if you guys want to support this channel, I will leave all the links to the affiliates below. And on that note, thanks for watching. I love you all.